is a fabulous photographer whose Justice League series, which featured children with disabilities, went viral. It changed the lives of so many people all over the world. Please welcome Rossi. Nice to have you here, Joss. This is such a wonderful idea. Makes superheroes out of children that are really battling serious issues. But it started with your daughter. Just wanted to be Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And you pulled it all together, and it led to this?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, first of all, tell us about Nellie, your daughter, wanting to be Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so my Nellie.
Oh my goodness.
She's great. She's fun. And so every year I actually shoot her, or I photograph her as just something. First I shot her as Mulan for every birthday. This year I actually had to work, so I couldn't shoot her, card. And so I just thought, okay, for Halloween I can go all out. So I'm gonna, I had this custom costume created for her. And so from there, she just loved the pictures. People always ask me, how did I get these poses?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I mean, she wasn't jumping through the air like that, was she?
No, you should have seen this one. I wish we had the behind the scenes, but basically there were 6 people holding her up.
But the look on her face is totally disgust, Dad. I can't believe I'm standing here with all these
Right.
That was 100 photos to get that one shot.
Did you tell her to have that look, or was she annoyed that everyone was touching her?
She's probably annoyed. I don't know.
I mean, that's hysterical. This truly is a labor of love because, like with Nellie, I mean, a lot of work goes into this. Will you walk us through your creative process? How do you make these pictures even happen?
Yeah, sure. So first it takes about, a couple weeks to think of the idea, and then I sketch stuff out, and then I bring the person into the studio, I photograph them, and then I take them into Photoshop, and that's where the magic happens. So, so here's the studio shot, and I mean, it takes a ton of pictures to get, the right shot.
Yeah.
But then in Photoshop, I basically stitch things together where I stitch maybe a head together, a cape, maybe an arm, and then just add final filters and all that technical stuff.
It's really wonderful, and it shows everybody what's possible. But what is not possible sometimes for these kids is to see a future, to see what a healthy life could be, and being able to step into a superhero costume and visually see what you do with their lives. How did the Justice League concept come out of your daughter? And then we'll take us through we'll go to some of the pictures.
Yeah. So after doing that Wonder Woman series, it actually went super viral. It surprised us, hit 50, 60 million views. And you can imagine how many emails we got from people. And these people, there were families, moms, dads, they would contact me saying, my daughter's the real superhero. My daughter, we call her Wonder Woman, she's battling cancer. Or our son, we call him Batman, he's battling cancer. So me and my wife got the idea to basically do this project, to go find the real superheroes in society. The kids that were struggling, that had cancer or other disabilities. So Superman, Tegan, he has a defect where he has half of a heart, and he can't regulate hot and cold, just a lot of problems. So I thought it'd be perfect to put him with Superman, because Superman has one weakness, which is kryptonite. And so they have, some sort of a similar weakness, and he loves Superman, by the way. And so, I remember when he got on set, I mean, his parents were emotional because, he can't really do many physical activities. And what happens is when they get in these costumes, I noticed, they get really confident. So Flash, Zayden, he has severe ADHD. And in school, he got in trouble because he just couldn't sit still. He was always running. He was just very hyperactive, but it was to a severe level. So he had to get basically kicked out of certain schools, had to move school, and so I thought, how perfect would it be to turn this disability into a strength?
Because that's what the Flash does. He runs like that. So, what a great idea. I bet his confidence level was amazing when he left after this.
I mean, see, these kids, they have ADHD, and they go to the hospital, and they tell them, well, you have this disability, because
they label it.
Focus. They label it, right?
And you turn it into a strength.
Something good.
Turn it into a strength.
Tell us about Cyborg.
Yeah, so Cyborg, Caden, he is a double amputee, and he actually has a similar story to the actual Cyborg, where the character, he basically was almost dead, and his dad saved him. He kept him alive. So with this, they told his mom that he didn't have legs, he had other issues, he had organs on the outside of his body. So when he was in the womb, they said, you should abort him. But his mom decided not to. She decided to keep him, so similar to the actual Cyborg story. And so now he's, I mean, he's a normal kid. It's just amazing. So.
Wow.
Yeah, really touching.
All right, so Aquaman, which was one of my favorites, by the way. Look at this.
Yeah, Matej.
Oh my goodness. So cute. How old is this one?
So he was 2, I think. 2.5. So this shot was pretty difficult. This is probably the hardest one because he just wouldn't sit still. He wasn't feeling good that day though. So he would barely get up. He was just kind of laying on the floor. So we had to, which this is really cool too. We used his brother we photographed his brother in the costume, and then we photographed Matez's head and put that in the scene.
Oh my goodness! And he has cancer.
Yeah.
Does he have cancer?
Yeah, he has cancer.
Oh, and he had just finished a round of chemo the day before.
Finished round of chemo, and so he couldn't do it. So we had to sort of stitch different pieces together.
Goodness.
You know.
All right, now what about this Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Look at her. My goodness. How old is she?
Sophie. She's 3 and a half.
Oh my goodness. And Sophie has cancer as well?
Yeah, Sophie has cancer. The day of the shoot, she came in and she was bleeding from her nose because she had just done radiation therapy. So she was very weak. I mean, it was very touching, very sad. You know, see these kids that just couldn't do the photo shoot. I always leave it up to the kids. I say, if you don't feel good, you don't have to do it. You know?
Right.
And all these kids are like, yes, I want to do it.
Of course.
And so one really touching moment was when my daughter actually inspired her to do this, because my daughter was Wonder Woman first. And so I had my daughter call her because she was feeling pretty bad and she just didn't want to move forward. So I said, hey, how about you talk to my daughter? You know, so we got on Skype and they started talking back and forth. And my daughter went like this. So they're 3, they don't really talk, you know.
Yeah.
My daughter went like this, which means it's like the Wonder Woman strength symbol. And so Sophie did it back to her like that, and she just got the strength to, you know, move on and do the photo shoot. So I mean, really touching.
Sure. Oh, wonderful. The next one, last one we'll talk about is Batman.
Yeah.
This little story.
Yeah.
The story of this little guy.
Yeah. So Simon, he is struggling with cancer as well, and he's hilarious. I mean, he's really funny. He was probably the most sick of all the kids. But when he showed up, we asked him why he loved Batman, and he said because he's rich.
Well, at least he's honest. Yeah. That's funny. So, you know, after you do these, I mean, these are amazing works of art. You sent these posters to each one of these kids, and you had the parent film their reaction when they opened it. What did it mean to you, and what did it feel like to see their reaction?
Oh man, so here's the thing. My idea was to do the photo shoot. My wife's idea, she's perfect for this, because she's like, hey, why don't we send the pictures to them and have them open them as a surprise? And so if it wasn't for her, you know, this wouldn't happen. So we saw the videos afterwards, and I mean, so touching. So Cyborg, he kept the photo up in his room, and he would just stare at it. And his mom just called us, and she said, he's just staring at this photo. I think it's because he's never seen himself stand tall before, you know? And so he's staring at the photo all day, loves it. Superman, he said that was the best day of his life, you know, and when he opened it, he loved the photo. So, I mean, everybody, and you see, I think we're going to show the video right afterwards.
Yeah.
They were just so excited. We were super touched, you know, with this whole thing.
Well, let's take a look at some of the responses, reactions that you got.
It's you! Wow! Wow, look at you! Wow! That's amazing, right?
Who is that?
So it's me.
Yeah?
Whoa! Is that you?
Whoa!
So cool! Oh my goodness!
Holy smokes, Matthew! Oh my goodness!
How excited he was.
Yeah, so
Just incredible. Incredible. Your work is remarkable. What you're doing, giving back, is so important. Keep up the good work. I know you've got.
You're a superhero.
Yes, you're a superhero.
You and your wife.
And
You're
the next topic
superheroes
is
for doing
bullying,
that.
which you've got coming up. More information, you can visit Josh's website at joshrossi.com.
You guys stick around. Up next, Chef Helen Cavallo is joining us.
I'm making Colombian empanadas with ropa vieja. Get ready, everybody, for an empanada party.